Today I'm reading Genesis chapter 41. And in this chapter, we're reminded that no matter how dire your circumstances may appear, God can still use you for his purpose. Joseph's journey is a testimony to the power of serving God faithfully, even when life feels unfair or when obedience makes you look crazy. In the previous chapters, we learned that Joseph was betrayed by his brothers and sold into slavery, and later he became a servant in Potiphar's house. But even there, Joseph was falsely accused by Potiphar's wife and thrown into prison for a crime he didn't commit. Imagine the ridicule and embarrassment Joseph must have faced. You would think he'd give up on this whole God thing, but no, Joseph didn't allow his unjust circumstances or the opinions of others to stop him from serving his God. Even in prison, Joseph continued to trust God and use his spiritual gifts in an unlikely place. Now, let's pause and reflect. What unlikely place are you in right now that doesn't seem favorable to pray, to worship, to live and make a stand for God? Are you too in a physical prison, a mental prison, a spiritual prison, an emotional prison? Have you placed the gifts and talents on a back burner, waiting for it to get better, waiting for a release date? Take 20 seconds and reflect on these questions. If you're ready to come back, join me as we dive further into this chapter. And if you feel like you need more time, absolutely pause this video. Now, when Pharaoh's cupbearer and baker had troubling dreams, Joseph didn't hesitate to interpret them. Joseph was in a dark place, surrounded by people who likely saw him as just another prisoner. Yet, he chose to serve God and use his talents anyway. His willingness to serve even in the pit of despair ultimately became the very thing that led Joseph to his elevation and release. Now, in chapter 41, Joseph is brought before Pharaoh to interpret his dream. How crazy must that have looked to everyone around him? A prison boy suddenly enters the palace and is given the keys to the kingdom. What seems crazy to man is a calling to God. I pray that this video encourages you and me not to look to the opinions or presumptions of ourselves and people around us when it comes to serving God. Instead, let us be obedient to every calling from the Lord. I love you, friends. Stay blessed and stay healthy.